believe that if you gave me a suit of armor, I could convince Joe Rogan he traveled back in time in less than 60 seconds. And if you gave me an old-looking calendar that said 3 on it really big, I could do it in 20.
Oh, good morning, BBs.
Good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Oh, my stars and garters. Welcome. It's the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And Saige,
Yes.
the Hollywood Reporter called me a simp.
The Hollywood Reporter did call you a simp this week.
The Hollywood Reporter called me a goddamn simp this week. And I am livid about it. But they're not,
you?
well, because they're not wrong.
Right, okay. I wasn't sure. Let's see. I guess I was wondering where it landed between Notice Me Senpai and, oh no, the Hollywood Reporter called me a simp when you texted me about it.
I mean, like, look, here's the deal. The MoonKnight trailer came out.
It did.
I've been waiting for MoonKnight for years.
Of course.
I never thought we'd see the day that we'd see our good, problematic Jewish boy.
Right.
And yet we did. And yet we did. And we did so well. And I may have gushed a little bit on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
As one does.
As an Anthony does.
Yeah, see, hey, if I was the only one gushing, why was MoonKnight trending?
Mostly because people wanted to talk about that weird British accent.
Why was MoonKnight trending along with Sploosh if I was the only one?
It was not.
It was trending along with Sploosh. Listen. Yeah, the accent thing is interesting. We'll talk more about MoonKnight.
We'll get into MoonKnight.
But the Hollywood Reporter did mention people's Twitter responses to MoonKnight.
Uh-huh.
And the Hollywood Reporter also just doing their best to embed all the video these days.
Is there any issue with the audio, y'all? It's a
No.
hangout to the mods as well.
Is the audio extra stereo today? We are in stereo.
It makes us be.
Yeah, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. But look.
Super extra stereo. Okay.
Yeah. Here we go. Down next to mono.
Let's see if that helps.
That should do it.
All right.
That should do it. Okay. Yes, we understand. So, the Hollywood Reporter was showing people's responses as they do, and they went down and they were showing tweets, and they may have shown one of my tweets. And they picked this one.
Read it for us, Anthony.
Oscar Isaac is so good, they said, now play him with an accent solving a Rubik's Cube just to make it interesting for him.
Hey, don't worry. I'll sim for Oscar Isaac with you.
I mean, we've got a 5'8" Jewish mummy man running around in the streets of London.
Yeah.
I love this. What a
Hey.
time to be alive.
Same.
And we got Oscar Isaac to play him.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
He made up the accent himself.
All I'm going to say is we're going to talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a tweet about that one as well.
Yeah, we'll have a whole... We'll probably watch a bit of the trailer with you.
Look.
Audio off.
I got a lot to say about MoonKnight. A lot of people tweeted at me asking how to get into MoonKnight, stuff like that. We'll do MoonKnight a little bit later.
Okay, all right. We'll
I got
circle
things
back
to say about
MoonKnight.
MoonKnight.
Well, I think that we should probably start then on the biggest story of the day. I think we got to get it out of the way.
When We Were Young Fest.
Yes, Anthony.
Is it When We Were Young Fest?
It's When We Were Young Fest. Sorry, can pull that up really quick.
I mean, I came in here this morning.
Yeah.
I was getting things set up.
Yes.
You were getting set up. You were getting some other stuff set up in the house.
Uh-huh.
And I turned on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
and it was open to When We Were Young Fest.
Yeah, I've been staring at it for a good 14 hours now. I did talk about this on my stream last night. When We Were Young Fest was announced yesterday. It is a Live Nation festival that is everything I listened to in middle school and still actively listen to today.
The name is an attack.
Yeah, it's a little rude.
The name is an attack.
The playlist is essentially my Spotify Wrapped, so naturally I was pretty fucking excited. It's headlined by My Chemical Romance and Paramore, but the thing that I found most interesting about this poster here is that even when you get all the way down to the bottom, and typically on a music festival, this is where all of the people that you've probably never heard of or are very niche are going to be sitting down here. And yet, at the very bottom here, in little font,
yeah,
red jumpsuit apparatus, the horror pops, the Ready Set,
the Linda Lindas,
303, Atreyu.
By the way,
Story of the Year, the starting line, We the Kings.
I have friends in 303 and Atreyu.
I knew 303. I didn't know Atreyu.
Yeah, I got a friend in Atreyu.
That's hilarious. The fact that Atreyu is on this is also very funny because there's definitely going to be a vibe shift when Atreyu goes on.
That's how old these bands are. As the oldest man on the internet, I know people in 2 of these bands.
Right. But we've got Bring Me the Horizon, AFI, A Day to Remember, Avril Lavigne, Bright Eyes Jimmy, World, Taking Back Sunday, Dashboard Confessional.
So you may be wondering, what's it cost to go to When We Were Young Fest? This sounds expensive.
It is.
It's expensive.
It's a $225 starting price, and that's going to be the first batch. It's going to go up as batches release of tickets.
A fun thing about general admission is it does not get you access to bathrooms.
So under general admission, there are porta potties. But if you wanted a little general admission plus, which goes up by over $150 per ticket, that is when you get access to an air-conditioned actual restroom, a restroom in a building.
People are asking, is that for a weekend or a day? This is a day. It's 3 stages, and
Somehow,
it's a day.
it's 40 bands, I believe, in a single day, which is questionable.
It's a lot.
That's a lot for a day. I think there would be a lot of choosing which of these bands you want to see. I do feel like I take up an issue with the air-conditioned bathroom thing. Obviously, that's an accessibility issue as well, which I dislike very much. It's also just weird and classist. I don't like it.
Oh, the music festivals, and they're like, I don't go to music festivals anymore, really.
Yeah.
And it's because of stuff like this, where it's like, I'm gonna have fun, but I'm not gonna have enough fun to counteract the fact that, like, I will be in the sun. They will charge me literally for shade.
Yeah.
They will charge me literally for water. They will charge me, like, for all of this stuff. And, like, you may be asking, what does the old person ticket cost? And it's $500.
Yeah, so $500 includes a dedicated viewing area by the main stage, food choices from regional and local vendors, bars, concessions, official band merch, festival merch, free water stations.
Basically, you don't have to wait in the extremely long line to get in. You can get access to the main stage to where you can see it and you won't, like, get vomited on. And maybe, hey, let me tell you something. Middle-aged people vomit, and when they do, it's uglier. When they get blitzed, it's uglier.
The air-conditioned restrooms, dedicated entry lane and main entrance, and charging stations for your phone.
Yeah, so people are like, $500, that's highway robbery. It kind of is, it kind of isn't when you look at music festival prices.
And how many bands there are.
Yeah.
Okay, like, to be honest, as somebody who, I mean, this is my shit right here. I'm not a music festival person.
Yeah.
I love to go to a concert. I fucking love a concert. I love a couple of bands playing together. Hella Mega Tour, fuck me up. A music festival, not exactly my vibe. I don't like to be in the sun. But
and this is in Vegas, by the way, in October, so it's going to be in the sun.
But I 100% want to go to this. I do. However, there was a little bit of information going around that Live Nation had previously planned a festival for 2020 and then canceled it, did not refund anybody. So there is concerns around Pantera timing.
Don't trust Live Nation at all. Do not trust Live Nation. They will fuck you. It's bad. They're bad. This is this is sort of one of those like once in a lifetime lineups. It really is. And I'm doing this, but I genuinely feel
it actually is, honestly.
And people are like, why is this only one day? Why is this just in the US? And it's because you can't get all of these people together.
No, you're not going to be able to do this for more than one day.
Because here's the other thing. A lot of these, like I said, a lot of these bands are my age, right? They don't want to tour as much anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would like to go very much. Very, 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 very much. One day, that's going to be a very, very packed day. Fucking Glassjaw. Like, every time I look at it, I'm just like, wow, Sleeping with Sirens.
I just noticed Anne Boleyn. I didn't even see Anne Boleyn the first time.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you're just like, every time I look at it, I notice a new thing. So, we'll see about that. We will.
Yeah.
That's kind of it for that.
Anyway, that's the biggest news.
Okay, followed by the second biggest news, Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, making them only the third largest games company. And somehow, none of those have gotten flagged as a monopoly.
Yo, here's what people are thrown away because the games press doesn't care about this as much as others.
Mm-hmm.
But when Microsoft buys Activision and Blizzard, they also get King, which is one of the biggest mobile game publishers.
This does make them an absolute force in mobile gaming suddenly.
This makes them a force in every field of game. This is what Uncle Phil's wanted. We've talked about this. Uncle Phil's been wanting this for a while.
That's absolutely correct.
Uncle Phil's been wanting $68.7 million. And it only, like we
billion.
said, $60 billion.
Billion.
Sorry, I'm so used to not saying that many billion.
Yeah.
To compare, remember that the ZeniMax buyout, which of course got them Bethesda,
right,
was like $7 million.
Yeah. So this is a huge acquisition. What does King make? Candy Crush, exactly. Thank you, chat, for coming in on that. So obviously, the benefit of this for them is the idea of potentially early access, exclusivity, or simply additions to Game Pass.
Look,
they're really, really focused on expanding what they can include in Game Pass, and a lot of the acquisitions that they're making right now are with Game Pass in mind. I mean, Game Pass itself just passed 25 million subscribers literally over this weekend.
We've talked about this a lot where, you know, and Phil Spencer has said it. He's like, we want Game Pass to be where you go for gaming on every single device. Mm-hmm. And he said they want to aggressively buy studios. I don't think anybody could have imagined that what they meant was this. And I think this is one of these. I mean, Activision Blizzard is so huge. This is a case of perfect timing, all the dominoes falling, right? If Activision Blizzard, if all of the shit about them had not come out, there's no way they would have never even been on the auction block. But because things are so bad for Activision Blizzard right now, they saw an opportunity. Microsoft saw an opportunity, and they said, we'll take this on.
Right. I have to wonder how long this has been in the works and how embroiled Activision Blizzard was publicly already when this started. Because that's one of the things, obviously, that we have to talk about alongside this, is Activision Blizzard is a terrible, evil company that's done terrible, evil things and continues to do so. So that does mean that Microsoft potentially looked at that and said, we can take it on.
We'll take it on. It's $68.7 billion factoring in this garbage. That's what they said.
Yes.
And they said, we'll fix the garbage.
Right.
Will they fix the garbage?
No.
How will they fix the garbage? What are they going to do to fix the garbage? Remember that they're taking on two government lawsuits. They're taking on the California lawsuit. They're taking on the national lawsuit. They're taking on the PR. They're taking on the public image. And they said, it's still worth $68.7 billion.
That's the thing, is they looked at a company that is riddled with not just controversy. They're taking on a company that is not just riddled with controversy, but with predatory actions with employees that are predators that have not yet been purged from this company. And that is the number that they came up with that in mind.
Well, because, Call of Duty do a shoot.
Yeah, I guess because Call of Duty do a shoot. Maybe because Blizzard do a pow.
Look,
I don't.
Here's what we know. Kotick is out after this happens.
Yes. So far, that's only.
That's via internal emails.
Exactly.
Kotick is out after this happens, and let me tell you something. I think Kotick's going to be fine with it. I think they're going to give him a huge payout.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on brokering the biggest acquisition deal in the history of Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest deals in the history of games, if not the biggest deals.
Yeah.
Congratulations and goodbye to Bobby Kotick, and they send him off and they go, problem solved?
And that's the thing, is unfortunately this acquisition might be the thing that stands in the way of any justice actually coming to Bobby Kotick. This is the perfect exit strategy. This is the perfect opportunity for him to take a massive paycheck he does not need and leave on good terms.
He'll start another company.
Oh, God.
He'll go to another company. It doesn't matter.
God.
He's got so much money, and Activision Blizzard has made so much money that he can go to any bank, take out incredibly low interest lines of credit and low interest debt, and start a company and just keep paying himself until the end of time, whether that company is successful or not. Unfortunately, he's got the golden parachute. There's a reason they call it that, and that fucking sucks. Even if you put this aside, all the garbage that's going on with Activision Blizzard, look, business-wise, we're hoping that the FTC steps in here.
Right.
We're hoping that the government steps in. One of the issues with tech and games especially is the government just either doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand how big tech is. And I say they don't care because they should know how big tech is because of AT&T, which is the granddaddy of all fucking monopoly cases. And AT&T keeps showing up in federal court.
I also think
with monopolies.
I think that it's a little too much credit to the government to say they don't understand or don't want to understand. I think they fully understand. I think they benefit from these large companies too much. I think they are intentionally stacked in the favor of these companies, and refuse to get involved. They refuse to get involved because it benefits them at the end of the day. There are loopholes that these companies find into not being a monopoly, and I don't have any expectation of the government to step in because they haven't stepped in on AT&T. They haven't stepped in on Tencent.
Well, Tencent's interesting because Tencent is a Chinese company.
That's true, but the acquisitions they've made within the U.S. are massive.
When there's a majority shareholder that's from, or a minority shareholder that's from outside the country, it becomes even dicier.
Right.
And we become even worse about how we deal with monopolies.
We don't want to get better at it. Our government does not want to get better at it. I wanted to acknowledge a couple of things that the BBs said in the chat. One was Activision Blizzard will still be making games for other consoles too, right? Yes, but this is also a reminder, stop supporting Activision and Blizzard.
Yeah, we don't support Activision Blizzard, but here's my question.
For how long?
Remember, Bethesda was a how long, not will they, but for how long. If you think Microsoft doesn't want to be the Call of Duty platform, I was at E3 the year, I was hosting for Sony the year that they announced that they were getting Call of Duty first. You remember that first year that they got the lead on Call of Duty and they got the DLC first? It was the biggest fucking announcement, and it was being treated as the hugest coup.
Yeah.
They want to make Microsoft the Activision platform.
I am of the opinion that I don't think they will go exclusive. We've talked a lot about how Microsoft is really no longer interested in making consoles going forward. And I don't think that becoming the exclusive Call of Duty platform on an Xbox, maybe on Game Pass for PC, I get that
Xbox
inclusion.
and PC.
I don't think that that's happening. I think there's a possibility. I think likely is timed exclusivity, but I don't see full out exclusivity
I say
in their future.
After this deal is wrapped,
Mhm.
I say it's 2 years, maybe 3,
Okay.
until Call of Duty is Microsoft PC and Xbox exclusive.
Interesting. One of the other things was justice ever coming to Bobby Kotick? Possibly not, but definitely not now. And I think that matters. I think that the employees have put in so much work to try and make this progress, and I bet that this is a bit of a gut punch to a lot of them of the work that they have put in, and then watching him just get this parachute out.
Yeah.
That's really difficult.
Now, a better ABK, the Workers Alliance, has talked about this. They say the news of Activision's acquisition by Microsoft is surprising, but does not change the goals of the ABK Workers Alliance. We remain committed to fighting for workplace improvements and the rights of our employees, regardless of who is financially in control of the company. We will continue to work alongside our allies in the gaming industry to push for measurable change in an industry that desperately needs it. We called for the removal of Bobby Kotick in November, and he still remains CEO as of this writing. The strike for Raven QA is in its 5th week. Microsoft decided to take all this on. In its 5th week, our striking staff has still not received response from leadership regarding our request to negotiate. And finally, 3 out of 4 of our original collective demands to improve the conditions of women in our workforce has not been met. Whatever the leadership structure of this company, we will continue to push to end abuse in gaming and appreciate the outpouring of support we've received in the last year.
So I agree that it's not going to change their mission in it, but it is going to be very difficult to be starting over under new eyes. I think that's really, really upsetting.
It can be good or it can be bad.
Right, because they might be better eyes, but you're still starting over your progress because
Now,
you're still stacked with these employees that have caused this abuse and harassment.
I know a lot of people that work at Xbox and work at Microsoft. The culture there, particularly on the Microsoft side as a whole, but more and more on Xbox, the working culture there, from what I understand, is pretty good. People are pretty happy there. Hopefully, one of the things that they do, if I'm Uncle Phil and Satya Nadella, I'm looking at this and I go, okay, who are the IPs?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the creative heads?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the really brilliant business people?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the problems?
Yeah.
Who's going to get in the way? I mean, that's the other thing. There's a slash and burn coming no matter what.
Right.
Whether it's good or bad, there is a slash and burn of employees that will come, and it will come 2 to 3 years after this deal goes through. Everything happens 2 to 3 years after a merger. The big changes happen 2 to 3 years later.
I would love to see any kind of statement from Microsoft on just acknowledgement of the kind of mess that they are acquiring in this once the deal goes through. Something to speak to, hey, we understand that these have been problematic working conditions for marginalized communities, and some kind of commitment to improving it. And I know that that seems unlikely from a large company, but so many large companies have spoken out specifically against Activision Blizzard.
Phil Spencer
that
has.
it feels exhausting that they wouldn't. And it feels exhausting that they haven't yet, even with this news.
Phil Spencer came out and said
Right.
that Activision Blizzard, that was a huge problem.
Right.
And there's a huge problem in the industry.
Which was very recent, and I can't help but wonder the correlation.
You know, I was like, wow, that's really outspoken.
Maybe
I wonder,
a little self-serving.
yeah, maybe he was, maybe there was a little look into the camera and wink there that I didn't catch.
Yeah, I think that all of us didn't catch. Something
Like,
else.
Maybe he was like, yeah, there's a big problem over there. Isn't there, Bobby? Seems like your value's going down, Bobby. Offers on the table, Bobby. Is what he was saying.
Maybe. The way I see it is, I mean, these deals take so long that, like, I find it pretty highly likely it was already in the works for a good while now. So what I see from that statement is, hey, all of this is about to get announced for the company I am a huge face of, so I'm gonna show that I am not one of the bad guys. I think that was a little bit self-serving and self-protecting, which, like, hey, here is your reminder that sometimes it serves you to not be a piece of shit.
Hey, man,
'Cause, like,
when the bar is that low, you might as well clear the bar every day.
yeah,
You might as well prove every day that you're clearing that bar.
right.
You know?
That's pretty helpful to everybody. Something else that I found really interesting, some internal emails were released that went around from Bobby Kotick to company employees of Activision Blizzard. And they wrote in it, "We've looked at all of the options and all roads lead to Microsoft." And I just find that a little bit disheartening.
If we take out all this toxic garbage, there's still the central issue of consolidation of creative capital and the means of producing that creative capital. We're talking about platforms holding the creatives. Like this is the studio system, but this is the golden age of Hollywood studio system.
Right.
But for games, we're already seeing it. We're seeing it in movies. We're seeing it in TV. We're seeing it in streaming.
Yes.
And now we're seeing it more and more in games. And I gotta say, like, anything that at the end of the day stifles creativity or competition in this way is bad for any industry.
For the entire industry, right, and others it does reflect on. It's also very ironic to see an email that Bobby Kotick sent out saying, "Microsoft will also support our journey to further strengthen our culture."
What's this hour?
Satya Nadella, Microsoft's CEO, has been a passionate advocate for caring as the currency of leadership. Inspiring people through empathy is a powerful motivator, and one
How would you know?
And one we embrace as we renew our resolve. In the work we are now doing to set a standard for a welcoming and inclusive workplace
I embrace
culture.
it. Do I practice it? I embrace it.
No, I like the idea of it.
Hey, look at that that's new.
Oh, yeah. Also, we still have our Tiltify button up, and that was still to the Tiltify. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
This is different.
It's different.
Yeah, that's why it's different. Anyways, it is so ironic to have Bobby Kotick say, like, just like us, they care. Hey, that's the scariest thing I've ever heard.
I too am a human being and understand emotions. I also feel what a human feels.
Okay.
As I too am human and care for humans.
Sure thing.
I am not a monster that survives off of the literal eating of currency.
No.
I am human man. Who has human emotion and human friends, and so I understand as human man, people is human.
And deserve something.
And deserve I don't know. I haven't eaten money in over 5 minutes, and so I am not thinking straight like a human would.
Fuck Bobby Kotick, everybody. Fuck Activision Blizzard. Under Microsoft's acquisition, we still do not support Activision Blizzard. Is there a future where we could? Maybe. I am of the opinion that it needs to be burned to the ground in order to preserve it.
Look, there's nothing that says Microsoft couldn't get in there, clean house, change it up. It's not something that would happen overnight. I think a great barometer for how they're doing and how the company is doing is to follow a better ABK, to follow the workers organized within Activision Blizzard, and see what they are saying, see what they're saying internally. And until then, grain of salt with all of that. You know? I'd love to think that a company comes in. I've seen companies come in after acquiring other companies and definitely make things better for employees. It takes a lot of time.
Right.
And just because they make things better than awful doesn't mean they're great.
Yes.
It can take a long time to change a long-standing culture. Remember, this is like 20 years, 30 years of Activision culture.
Right.
So, we'll see.
And you know what? Well, I'm all fucking worked up.
Oh, we're just going to keep going.
We're just going to keep going. I would like to talk I wouldn't like to, but I'm going to talk about Ninja. If you're a subscriber to our Patreon, I did put a tiny preview of today's topics so that they could see what I titled this story. Ninja's a real little shit. So, let's get into it.
Okay. A little bit ago, Pokimane. Mm-hmm. We all know Pokimane. She's on Twitter. Or she's on Twitch. Which is the one that we're on?
Yeah, that's one. That's Twitch.
That's
You're right.
Twitch.
Pokimane being one of the largest streamers on the platform and one of the largest women on the platform in particular.
A couple weeks back, Gideon, who is a streamer as well, decided to raid Pokimane's chat and basically hate raider chat.
Yeah, so it was a hate raid. It was raiding in with harassment. He brought in what he called his boys.
Keeps calling them his boys.
Refers to their audience as my boys. Fucking choke. But he brought in what he calls his boys, and honestly, accurately represented, and was being a piece of shit. This happens to women on the platform constantly. It happens to all marginalized creators on the platform constantly. And it's very difficult to see that the most successful women on our platform are still dealing with the things that make us as, smaller creators feel very powerless.
Yeah.
Which is exhausting.
So after this hate raid, Gideon got banned from Twitch. He got a 14-day ban, which is in line with policy.
Yep.
And it was a hate raid.
Yes.
That's what you get.
Right. And it was not a small raid either.
No, there were a few because he was streaming with like XQC and some other people, I think, at the time. I forget exactly who was there. I don't want to involve anybody who shouldn't be involved. What's important is that Gideon did this.
Yes.
So he got a 14-day ban and immediately just flew off the handle with it. Started tweeting things he shouldn't have been tweeting. Started talking shit he shouldn't have been talking. Started saying things about Pokimane like her audience, if her audience knew she wasn't single. And not if she wasn't single. If her audience knew that she was getting dicked every night, is what he said. They wouldn't watch because they're only watching because they think that one day they'll be able to give the dick to Pokimane.
Which...
Hey, eat shit, buddy.
I don't have to tell you all the problems with that. Fuck this guy. And his ban was upgraded to a permanent ban on his channel because, Jesus Christ, Twitch actually did it.
Because you can't keep doing that.
Twitch actually did it.
And you certainly... Listen, Twitch can ignore a lot of things, but when one of the largest streamers on your platform... Pokimane is one of the largest streamers in the world. She's a big deal.
Yep.
And she came out and was like, you can't do this. You have to stop doing this. This is terrible. Twitch, what are you going to do about this? He, after he got the ban, didn't really apologize. He just got on Instagram and was like, Pokey, tell Twitch to unban me. Pokey, I'm supposed to play Fortnite with Ninja tomorrow. Pokey, you got to tell him to unban me. She didn't get you banned. That's the other thing that
got you banned.
That's the other thing that these people do when they get banned. And when I say these people, I mean the horrible, toxic people who get themselves banned over and over. They always think whoever they did the wrong thing to got them banned. No. You broke the rules. You got yourself banned.
Right. There are very few rules that are like perfectly clear on Twitch when it comes to terms of service. That's one of them. And this is blatant harassment. So not only did he ask Pokey to get him unbanned, he continued by reaching out to Ninja. He reached out to Ninja and started asking him to get him unbanned and sending his community to get him unbanned.
And this was, remind me, was this before or after around the same time he changed his avatar photo to Pokimane without makeup on?
Yeah, right about the same time.
As a dig at the fact that people only follow her for her looks.
Yeah, that's weird obsessive behavior.
Tell me you've never woken up next to a woman without telling me you've never woken up next to a woman. Every single dude, all these fucking dudes online, these toxic dudes who are like, makeup is a scam. Okay, so you're telling me you've never seen a woman without makeup?
Right.
You've never been in a relationship. You
Right.
don't know what women look like.
Right. Also, go put some on.
Go put some on, buddy. You look tired. Smile for me. Listen.
So, after reaching out to Ninja and sending his fans to harass also Ninja into having him unbanned, on stream, Ninja addressed it. He was like, guys, there's nothing I could do about it. I would help, but I can't do anything about it. What do you want me to do? I mean, I could reach out to my Twitch rep, but I can't do anything about people who got banned.
And Jadion goes, yeah, reach out. Reach out to your Twitch. Reach out to your rep.
The community continues and continues and continues. So on stream, Ninja says, okay, fine. I'll text my Twitch rep right now. Picks up his phone and presumably texts his Twitch rep, Ninja, one of the most influential people who has returned to the platform somewhat recently.
Victorious from Mixer.
Right. Though no longer the biggest streamer on the platform, still massively influential and has a massive connection deeply at Twitch within their staff, supposedly sends this text message to ask to have this absolute piece of shit unbanned on the platform.
And we want to say that during this conversation that they're having, Ninja does refer to the way these bitches be acting. I can't. It sucks when these bitches act this way. Now, this is Ninja who, remember, the last time we heard about Ninja interacting with women, it was to say he can't stream with women because he's married. And women are just for sexing and wifing.
So, to continue from here, Pokimane responds by watching the clip of what Ninja did on her stream, and is in pretty fucking utter disbelief. It's really sad to watch that clip.
Watching her watch it,
it hurts.
Literally broke my heart.
It's absolutely fucked.
Because she's trying to keep it professional and together, because she understands what will happen as a woman if she shows any emotion at all about this.
Mm-hmm.
She has to go into logic robot mode.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people will just be like, look at her fake crying about this.
Right.
Look at her acting how all hurt about this.
Yeah, wow. She makes all of this money and yet she has emotions.
Wow. How dare.
How dare. So, all she does is watch it and then comments on the thing that he did on the live stream and said that he did. To which, where this somehow gets even more fucking ridiculous, Jessica Blevins, Tyler Ninja Blevins' wife and also manager, reaches out to Pokimane on in a, let's see, Instagram or Twitter DM? That is a Twitter DM. And says, we are considering everything defamation of character at this point and are getting our legal team involved. You are spewing lies to tens of thousands of people. You know Twitch. You claim to know his rep. Then you know from them that Tyler never reached out to anyone and again just said that to stop the harassment in his chat from Jadion's viewers. We have clarified everything to you. You are actively bringing harassment to Tyler and I right now at the highest level. We are taking this very seriously.
Yo, you can't say, I was just goofing.
You can't say, I was just goofing, and you know that.
You can't say, oh, well, we said we texted, but we didn't really text. Oh, really? Because on the clip, you made it look that way to thousands of people. So how is it different?
So let's break down the options here. One potential option is he texted his Twitch rep, knowing that it probably wouldn't do anything because that's not really how the creator economy works. But sure, maybe he texted his Twitch rep. Okay, that sucks. But maybe he didn't. Maybe it was something where he was just like, I'm going to get these people off my back and make it look like I did. So what did he accomplish with that? Two things. One, he stood behind someone who has been disgusting and abusive publicly with the intentions of helping them. Instead of at any point saying, no, he was incorrect, I'm not going to do that, which would have been really fucking easy. It would have been really fucking easy when you are granted every single privilege in the fucking world and were once the largest streamer on the platform only to leave for more money than you'll ever know what to do with and then return when that platform goes down. You had every opportunity to simply say no and move on. To simply say, he was incorrect, or to simply say that Pokimane deserves to not be harassed. So what is he showing as one of the most influential creators on the platform when he allows this and condones it by even pretending to help that person?
I'm trying to get rid of the harassment. let me tell you, we have some incredibly lovely mods in this channel. We have some incredibly lovely mods in this channel who keep the peace. Look, luckily, you BBs are the best. But even with even if there were thousands of toxic people in your chat, you have mods.
Right.
You have Twitch's tools. You have the ability to ban certain terms. You have your mods working at this time to do it. And you can just say no. You're the bigger streamer.
Right.
It's up to you to control this. Now, did he also hate raid you? Kind of. It was a harassment raid, not a hate raid, but it was a harassment raid. You have the same recourse as anybody else. You could have said, hey, man, if you keep doing this, it's going to get worse for you. But he never said that.
It wasn't a raid, on the other hand, because he is banned. So he wasn't able to raid over to his channel. He was just sending his community
He was sending harassment. And you could say, I mean, that's not even a threat. You can just, as Ninja could have just said, dude, I don't know whether you're right or wrong. I don't know what's going on with this, but this is not something I can do for you. And what you're doing in my chat is going to make it worse for you if Twitch finds out. You can't do this. That's the easiest, that's the most spineless, easy, coward way to do this.
Unequivocally fuck that.
And he couldn't have done it. He didn't do it.
Unequivocally fuck that, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'd still be fucking pissed. I understand that that's the most spineless option and it still would have been better.
Yeah.
I get that that still would have been better, but an absolute fuck you for not leveraging an ounce of the unbridled privilege that you carry to simply say, hey, stop fucking harassing that woman.
But that's what I'm saying, right?
Not an ounce of it. That's
what I'm saying is like it would have taken the least amount of effort to do anything to curb this.
Correct.
Anything.
I don't have a screenshot of the DM here. It wasn't included in this article, but there was also a DM from Ninja that to Pokimane that said, you're making a huge mistake, which is a fucking threat. Which is a threat.
Is it a bigger mistake than flossing in Times Square in front of everybody on national television?
Is it a bigger mistake
for money?
than Mixer?
Is it a bigger mistake than Mixer? Is it a bigger mistake than saying you can't be in the presence of women you're not married to? Is it a bigger mistake than whatever your current hair color is? Listen, you fucking suck.
Yep.
You fucking suck. You could have said anything.
Right. And also, now threatening legal action for the things that you said you did on the live stream.
I want to know who taught influencers the word defamation.
Take it back.
Take it back. All these influencers who just these fucking dork kids who keep saying defamation every time one of them says something true about the other one.
Right.
Fucking trash.
Here's the thing. It's not like she didn't even get on live stream and be like, here's what Ninja said. She played the clip.
She played the clip. That's what's wild. To reach out, to have your basically your momager. She's your wife-ager, but she's basically your momager.
1,000%.
To have her reach out and be like, this is defamation against my very good boy. How dare you say those things? Are you really gonna gaslight when all she did was watch the video?
Like what?
It can't be defamation if it's true.
It can't be defamation if it's just playing a video where you said it. This was a tweet that I liked very much from it. This is another streamer in this space who goes by Rotten Poppy, and this just made me laugh really hard. God, I had this ex that instead of apologizing to you for doing something shitty, they would act like you're crazy, gaslight you, and then threaten you for spreading lies when you literally just recounted the shit that actually happened. Oh shit, wait, no, sorry, that was just Ninja.
Yo. Ninja, get your fucking shit together. It's been years.
Get your fucking shit together. Honestly, actually, don't. Just fuck off. It's too late. The statement about him refusing to stream with women on the platform was, what, 5 years ago, probably almost now? When he said he absolutely just refuses to stream with women because he doesn't want people to assume that he's having sex with them. Because it would be...
Why would they do that, Tyler?
Hey, Tyler, I don't assume you're having sex with anybody.
Hey, Tyler?
The energy you're creating in this room, not that.
Hey, Tyler, I feel like maybe you and your wife sleep in two separate twin beds like a 1950s sitcom couple. Now, that may be defamation, but that's just my feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my feeling.
Right. And I think...
I'm not saying it's true.
See, I think he's got a race car bed.
Yeah, his is a race car bed.
His is a race car bed. And I think that hers is a real bed, and his is a race car bed.
Look. It just, man, the way people will double down and just dig deeper during these things. Now, Gideon is, of course, banned for life now from Twitch, as he should be, in all honesty.
Right, and I don't want to take all of the attention to Ninja as much as some of it is owed to it. Like, also, fuck Gideon.
Yeah.
Like, to be abundantly clear, Gideon has since been like, hey, boys, you know, fall back.
Shout out to my boys. He only actually apologized after the lifetime ban.
Yeah.
His first apology was like, yo, usually I put the joke on me, and, I didn't do that this time, and, I can see where, and it was like one of those apologies.
Yeah, I can see where you might think. It's gaslighting. It's fucking gaslighting. So good morning, everybody.
Anyway,
this is how you started your day.
Let's shake it off.
Okay.
Let's shake it off with some very cool news that just broke this morning.
Okay.
We got a new story trailer for Horizon Forbidden West. It just dropped. It's a new story trailer. This is captured on the PS5. It's a mix of gameplay and cutscenes. It's
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I just can't. How do video games, this game in particular, I look at, reminder that some frame rate issues, if you're seeing them, are definitely coming from my NDI.
Yeah, we're running a laptop to this, essentially.
But good lord.
Good lord. Like, this is incredible. This is one of those things that's just like, fuck, games, right?
Like, fucking games. Like, how did we get here? Good lord. Now, of course, this comes after the release of the very good God of War PC port.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Sony was reading the way that things were going and tried to make some big changes over the last year.
Yeah.
Trying to be multi-platform, trying to come to streaming. It's funny because Sony had such a head start with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
They bought Gaikai like in the PS3 days. They were primed to be the streaming platform, but they didn't have the strategy. But something like this coming after the Microsoft news does show that, like, we forget that Sony's got a lot of talent under the hood.
Yeah.
Sony's got a lot of talent under the hood.
God, this is so stunning. I'm very excited to play this. I'm gonna play a little bit of God of War probably in the next 2 weeks. I'm not gonna stream it, but I would like to, because I've not played a God of War game.
God, look at that cool robot pterodactyl.
God, and these
the hair,
fucking beautiful characters.
The hair and skin. I mean, like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me. So beautiful.
This is gonna be one of those things that raises the bar for AAA games.
I've said it before. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn. But it was one of those games where I played it and I was like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, the next one is where they're really gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
And it looks like they really have.
In other really good gaming news, I want to talk about Awesome Games Done Quick. We were talking about it last week. They raised a new record for charity. This was for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. One of our mods here, Calmer, who's also a technical director here, was one of the moderators for this. And they raised $3.4 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Did you watch that blindfolded Sekiro run?
I have not seen it, but I've seen a little clip from it on Twitter.
This dude was speed running Sekiro blindfolded.
Incredible.
3.4 million. I watched a lot of the stream. over the last week. They had some great ones, and it's just wonderful to see AGDQ just crush it the way they are.
Just continually crush it every single time. So this was the most money ever raised at a single Games Done Quick event, which is really interesting because they do multiple per year. And I mean, wow. They were also the fastest organization to ever reach $1 million in donations.
I love that.
Which is fucking massive.
I love it.
And this is just a reminder that games is good sometimes,
Games
too.
is good.
Games is also good sometimes, too.
Yeah. One of the more interesting runs was they were doing the races, the speedrun races, and they were doing a Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix randomizer run.
Wow.
And it was 4 players playing a randomized Kingdom Hearts 2, and it's a little tough for me to watch and keep up with the 4-player races.
Okay.
Especially because when I'm watching Games Done Quick, I'm often doing other things, and so I'll, it's a lot. But I was number one, I didn't even know that there were randomizers for Kingdom Hearts 2, and number 2, it was just wild to see 4 people speedrunning this game at once.
Yeah.
I love Kingdom Hearts. It's so dumb. Every time one of those characters opens their mouths, I'm just like, please don't open your mouth, but also do it.
Do it.
Do it. What weird-ass thing is going to come out of your mouth right now? I can't help it. It's so convoluted and weird.
That's fantastic. And speaking of Kingdom Hearts 3, the HD collection, is coming to Switch in February. We did get a date for it, and that's February 10th. So if you yourself are doing what I'm doing, where you're just like, fuck, should I play some Kingdom Hearts?
Now, here's the thing. These are cloud versions of the game.
That is true.
You want to definitely keep that in mind because who knows when something you buy in the cloud just blows away in the wind.
I mean,
like a cloud do.
I think that, yes, that is the case for all cloud services. Some are a little easier for me to put money into than others that have these massive structures like Nintendo. Nintendo's not going away tomorrow.
No, but it depends on how long Square wants to support a Switch cloud version of a game. So if you have another platform that you can play these games on, it might behoove you to play them there.
Yeah.
But if you haven't gotten to, and the Switch is your main platform, this is great that it's coming.
I just like the idea of Kingdom Hearts on Switch. I think that's the correct console for me to play Kingdom Hearts. Just walking around, just little bits at a time.
You could stream it to your phone with your Backbone controller.
I could.
If you had it on PC. And then you would always own it. I don't know.
I guess.
I get worried. I get worried about these cloud versions of games on the Switch.
You do, more than most.
Because, I have a feeling the next generation of consoles comes out, and that cloud version for the Switch goes away. I just have this feeling, end of support. I just think it's going to come. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't think playing on my phone is the same experience as playing on my Switch for me personally.
You got the big phone.
It's still not the same
It's
experience.
not quite the same, no.
Not quite the same for me. And look, at the end of the day, if I bought a game and 3 years from now even, which is much sooner than I think would be the case, 5 years from now, support drops for that game, that's a bummer, but it's not a big enough bummer, even if I knew it was going to happen in 5 years, that I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what did I spend on a Kingdom Hearts collection?
I get it. I mean, I guess with the cloud, it's the same as
did I play it?
Backwards compatibility, right? People worry about backwards compatibility more than they actually use it.
Yeah. I mean, I own my Xbox 360 games forever. I don't play my Xbox 360 games.
That's fair.
I could go and I could play it because I have it and I have a physical disc of it and it's mine. I'm not doing that though. So
You want to talk about owning a game forever?
Okay.
I'll tell you about owning a game forever.
Tell me about owning a game forever.
You ever heard of Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Tomb Raider starring Lara Croft.
Sure.
There is a platform called Open Lara. Open Lara is a Tomb Raider engine that runs across multiple platforms. So you can always play the original Tomb Raider wherever you are as long as you have the data from your legally purchased copy of Tomb Raider.
Incredible.
Now, here's what's very interesting about Open Lara. Last week, they had a port to a platform that you would not have expected. This is stock Game Boy Advance hardware running Tomb Raider for real.
Yeah.
The original Tomb Raider in 3D.
On a regular ass Game Boy Advance.
On a regular Game Boy Advance. And let me tell you something. As somebody who owned a Saturn, this runs just about as well as the Saturn version. It doesn't run like the PlayStation version.
Right.
I had to see. I had to know. You can download the ROM. It's the first 2 levels.
Okay.
It's not, the full engine isn't there. The engineering that this person had to do is wild.
Yeah?
Wild. Listening to him talk about it, and then Modern Vintage Gamer also did a video about how it all works. It's not, the Game Boy is not made to do this much 3D, and they made it work.
Yeah. I mean, I see it.
I wonder if...
I think they saw it better in the video we played them of it playing on the Game Boy. I
it's-
think that's probably the better option.
Yeah, it's a bummer that you can't. I was wondering if that was going to be the case, but it works. It's just it works on a regular ass Game Boy.
That's great.
That's crazy to me.
I love it.
I love things like this. Keeping that game alive.
Yeah.
Keep it alive.
Have you played the first 2 levels now?
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it's Tomb Raider. It's fine. It's from a very weird time for 3D games, but it's
Is-
cool that you can do it.
1 metric Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it's exactly 1 Tomb Raider.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, while we're talking about a little bit of nostalgia in gaming, I want to talk about Banjo-Kazooie.
Love Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie is one of my favorites of all time of like nostalgic and childhood games for me. And the Banjo-Kazooie Nintendo Switch Online port is coming, as well as the expansion pack. We are getting it tomorrow. Now, we knew that Banjo-Kazooie was coming when we did that big, there was that big Nintendo Direct, and it showed Banjo-Kazooie listed as one of the games that was coming to Nintendo Switch Online. We just didn't have a date for it. We just knew that it was happening at some point. And then yesterday, Nintendo of America tweets this out and is just like, hey, 2 days, Banjo-Kazooie. 2 days, Banjo-Kazooie? Fuck yeah! I'm so excited.
I know. I think, but what I love about this is, this for you is like one of the weird niche things for me, where like, you're like, I can't believe they're only giving us 2 days of notice for such a huge announcement. And it's like, no, it's big and it's cool, but like, I can believe we're only getting 2 days. Like, I can absolutely, yeah.
Chat.
I can believe that. No, it's great.
Chat. Hold on. Chat.
It's amazing.
BBs, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching live on Twitch, it's a big deal, right? Banjo-Kazooie is a big deal, right?
Banjo-Kazooie is a great
Again, the frame rate drops. Yeah. That's on us. That's the NDI source coming through. Is it a big deal to you? Huge. Thank you. I'm so excited. I mean, yes, this is wild. Sure. Okay, that seemed like a little sarcastic, actually.
Very big deal. Very big deal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, but like, I didn't need a month to like gear up for it. You know what I mean?
I did. I did. I need to clear my backlog. I gotta get ready.
You're never gonna clear that backlog.
I know, but like I could have tried to. You know, I've got a little bit of like extra things I can do in Diamond or in Pearl rather that I could do. I've played both, but
I think it's great. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for them to be supporting the expansion pack.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use the expansion pack? The expansion pass?
I did it for Animal Crossing.
Have you messed with the N64 emulator recently? Have there been updates? How's it feel?
I haven't. No, I literally have just done it for Animal Crossing. I have very little time to actually utilize my Switch, so I get very excited for Switch releases only to be like, great, I can't wait to get to that someday. You know?
I love that in the live studio audience, they've started a poll. Is big deal?
Is big deal.
Is big
How's
deal.
It going? Okay, so there were 2 yes options.
One's yes with a question mark that I feel like is where I'm at, where it's like, yes, of course, yes. I'm
going to vote Yes. Yes, it's a big deal.
Like, yes? Sure.
Yes, it's a big deal. So I'm not sure. N64 does have some of the best games. Personally, I believe in GameCube supremacy.
GameCube supremacy. The N64 has a great library in spite of itself.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you something. When we talk about the great library, we're all usually talking about the same handful of games. And we
Animal
have
Crossing, Harvest Moon, Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, WarioWare, Paper Mario, Mario Kart.
Oh, I'm talking about the N64.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about GameCube. I just got excited about GameCube.
No, the N64 has a great library,
Mm.
but it also has a lot of crap, and we tend to forget about the crap. It was a weird system. It was a weird system. But there is a great library on the N64.
There is a great library.
It's an
on the
amazing
N64.
library.
I agree.
Well,
what did the poll say? The poll says yes.
with a question mark.
Okay, so the poll primarily says yes with a question mark, but that's still a yes. It is.
I think it's
It's a yes.
We're all there. We're all there with you.
All right, Anthony, now do you want to talk about MoonKnight?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about MoonKnight for realsies. We did get a full trailer, 1 minute and 58 seconds of MoonKnight just yesterday, and the internet has been absolutely ablaze about it, good or bad. A little bit of both. It's had a bit of mixed reactions. I found this trailer very interesting.
I think it's wonderful. It is what I wanted as a MoonKnight fan, as somebody who's loved MoonKnight forever. There are a lot of questions. I mean, one of the things is, MoonKnight British. That's never happened.
Partially.
Kind of. I mean, I don't know how much MoonKnight are we allowed to talk about. I don't want to give away a lot of like what MoonKnight is about.
I mean, I
as
think
a character.
Okay, but I think what's very clear in this trailer is the idea of they say multiple personalities. It's very clear throughout this that he doesn't remember what's happening, and I've never read a MoonKnight comic in my life.
Great.
So like that's for context, I think that's perfectly fair.
So yes, he introduces himself as Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Steven is having some problems with his memory. Steven is waking up places that he doesn't remember waking up. Steven is getting calls from people that are calling him different names and asking and being like, "Oh my God, you're alive." There's a lot of cool stuff going on here.
Yes, that's a Razor phone.
MoonKnight is very good. MoonKnight is a beautiful neurodivergent Jewish man who's just trying his best and occasionally turns into a mummy man and beats people up. I love it. Going back to his accent, yes. The accent is a weird Cockney accent.
God, that's a good suit. Fuck, that's a good suit.
And
I just had to see the suit.
And it was definitely chosen on purpose.
It's a very odd British accent. It's not well done. We love a neurodivergent Jewish hero as two neurodivergent Jewish people in front of you. We do love to see it. However, there is a territory that I don't know that we're qualified to get into here, which is this is clearly, an adaptation of dissociative identity disorder as a superpower, which is a little bit odd. And I mean, there is a line to walk. There is nothing that should say that we can't tell stories of DID.
Now, I always go back to with this. I go back to, and I did this with WandaVision. I did this with some of the other Marvel stuff. But I always go back to Loki. I always go back to Legion on FX. Legion did a really good job with this, and I think it's because Legion was able to tread that ground and tread it well that other genre shows are feeling like they can take this on now. So I want to give a shout out to Legion first. Secondly, like the DID is definitely a huge part of MoonKnight, but I want to say not the source of his power, not the reason he is MoonKnight, but there are a lot of elements of MoonKnight like that. There's the dissociative identity disorder. There's a militaristic origin for him, a mercenary origin for him.
Right.
There is also the issue of Egyptian culture and cultural appropriation. And all of these questions are, if you don't know about Moon Knight, and even if you do know about Moon Knight, these are valid questions to ask.
Right, because realistically, I mean, as right now, we're not even as far as any of us would like to be in the progress of conversation about mental health. Dissociative identity disorder is one of the most greatly misunderstood disorders that exists.
Somebody brought up Split in the live studio audience, which is one of the worst
Which is
fucking things I've
very
ever
poor
seen.
depiction of it.
Hated it.
So with that in mind, this character was written at a time where dissociative identity disorder was even less understood than it is now. My hope for this is, one, they acknowledge it as a thing that exists and not just like, whoa, this guy with the multiple personalities, because multiple personalities is not what that disorder is called. We have a name for it. It's a thing that exists. These are real people.
Yes.
I hope that we acknowledge that properly and acknowledge that as, hey, this is his diagnosis of this thing that he has, and that we can proceed from there in handling it respectfully.
So I can tell you in the comics, it depends on the writer and it depends on the era usually.
Right.
The comic, people have been asking me if I want to get into Moon Knight, what do I read? Jeff Lemire wrote a really amazing run for Moon Knight in 2016. It's about a 15-issue run. It'll take you like a day to read, a couple hours. And in that run, they do a lot of wonderful things to push aside a lot of the problematic origins of Moon Knight. A lot of the things with, one of the things is like, is Moon Knight given his powers from this Egyptian god? And like, the answer is probably not. Maybe. We don't know. It's unclear. And the thing is, it doesn't, the story goes a long way to be like, hey, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This guy has problems with the perception of reality. He's telling you his story the best he can. And they sort of like push a lot of that stuff down, and then pull up a lot of things that I really love about the character, which is dealing with his mental health, calling it dissociative identity disorder, talking about the treatment that he's tried to get for it throughout his life, and how hard it's been, talking about growing up with his family who didn't understand it and tried to push him into religion to get rid of it, and how that didn't help. And it's a really wonderful and lovely version of Moon Knight that takes away a lot of the stuff that I don't like about Moon Knight. Which is he was a mercenary who flew into Africa because Africa needs mercenaries, because Africa's just one big place that needs help from us. And then in the desert, he found he's found the Egyptian man who gave him his powers. And it's like, I can tell that they're not doing that in this show.
Yeah.
He's working at the National Museum. He is around Egyptian artifacts all the time. They're what he sees around him. They're part of his reality, and I think that they are integrating that into what he thinks is the source of his power.
Right.
It's the Jeff Lemire run, Moon Knight 2016. If you have Marvel Unlimited or Comixology, I think it's on there. You can buy it in trades or whatever. It's I think I'm less worried about it as a Moon Knight fan than I thought I could be.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be very worried.
Right.
I'm less worried than I'm going to be. And I trust Marvel, their track record at this point with these shows. I mean, think about the way WandaVision dealt with grief, you know? I think...
I'm very excited and hopeful for this. I want to acknowledge the, like, hey, these are the places that could potentially be an issue. But fuck, like, this could be really cool.
Yeah.
too. I hope that it is.
I think about WandaVision dealing with grief and Loki dealing with narcissism and all of these things that, like, they're really trying to push into this superhero stuff. And I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope for Moon Knight. I think it's going to be very cool.
I'm very excited. So now that was, I don't want to say your niche interest. It's a pretty big deal, but like your previous, before it was a movie, it was a niche interest.
Look, anything Marvel at this point,
not niche, however.
But like anything Marvel turns into a TV show or a movie at this point, it's like, look, we're beyond the talking tree and the raccoon. We're in deep Marvel stuff right now.
Right.
We've got like...
what a gift.
We've got like Quasar coming. You know what I mean? Like, we're deep into Marvel now. They're pulling up the niche stuff. So you're okay calling Moon Knight niche, I think.
So now to move into my niche interest, which is Weird Al Yankovic. Oh, there we go. Y'all, Weird Al posted an Instagram post yesterday, and said, "So, I'm making a movie."
And I thought UHF too.
We all thought UHF too. We all hoped maybe a less problematic take on UHF. But no, they're making a Weird Al biopic starring Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al.
Hey, can I just thank you for something?
What?
Can I thank you for saying biopic instead of biopic?
Oh, do people say that?
It's become trendy lately to say biopic, but why would you do that?
Biography.
It's a biography picture.
I guess that's bio. But you would write yourself a bio.
Yeah, it's a bio.
You wouldn't write yourself a bio.
People are saying
Hey,
biopic.
hey, I'm doing an article here. Could you send me a bio?
Send
about
me your
yourself?
bio.
No.
Send me your bio.
No, absolutely not. So Weird Al shared this Deadline headline. Whoa.
The Deadline headline, which is also my favorite Weird Al track.
Weird, the Al Yankovic story, which is a great title. They are starting production, I believe, in February, so it's going to be a while before we see this. But fucking Daniel Radcliffe is playing Weird Al.
When I see the picture of the two of them next to each other, I'm like, yes.
No, I don't see it one bit.
I mean,
I don't see it one tiny bit.
They look different, but if you put Daniel Radcliffe in front of me with the hair and didn't show me Weird Al at the same time, I would be like, yeah, okay.
Literally not a single thing.
There's something about the vibe.
Not the face shape, not the eye shape,
I'm telling
not
you,
the nose.
I'm telling you, it's different.
Vibe.
It's vibe. It's energy. It's something about the collection.
No, they don't match.
It's something about the collection, the way the features are collected on each of their faces that gives off the same vibe. If that makes sense.
I don't see it. I completely do not see it.
And I'm not saying they physically look the same.
I get it. I'm not seeing the vibe. I think that's fine.
Chin,
I
definitely.
think it's entirely possible. No, not chin. Look
They
how
both have
pointy.
the big pointy.
No, Weird Al's is long and rounded.
I think,
Look at these shapes. Look at this.
Hey.
He's got a lot of chin.
Let me tell you something.
Very pointy chin, not a lot of chin.
Let me tell you something. It's going to work. Daniel Radcliffe is amazing, and it's going to work.
Everybody's looking for it. Everybody wants to see it.
Because we know it's going to work.
And that's fine. And I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm saying they don't look alike. I don't think they have any single feature in common. Right? Well, they're both smiling and have brown hair. Exactly. Like, you can look for it, and it can work, and he can do a wonderful performance.
It's a vibe.
But you can't disagree that those two men have nothing in common physically. So they can have whatever. He can portray him extremely well, but there's no arguing that they have a single feature in common.
Somebody in the live studio audience said they both have the chaos in their eyes.
Sure.
And I'm like,
that's
yes.
Fine. That's
yes.
fine. That's fine. But don't come at me with cheekbones and chins. Don't lie to me. Don't fucking lie to me. Sure, they have chaos in their eyes. I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
You can have chaos
The
in the
glee.
eyes.
The unbridled glee of
Sure.
the two of these boys.
Sure, absolutely. And I think that's wonderful. And I think Daniel Radcliffe is probably going to fucking crush it. What I found very interesting about this is a Roku film.
Yeah, so number one, I always forget that Roku is still the highest selling video streaming device in the United States.
But nobody uses the Roku channel who has a Roku. They use it to get access to their Netflix and other streaming services.
The Roku channel pops up and you're like, oh, all right, Roku. You maybe look at it once and you go, but maybe this is the beginning of, hey, Producer Dagger, what are you doing to the couch? Producer Dagger, there you go. So like, yeah, you look at the Roku channel once, but maybe this is, a few years ago we were like, with Amazon Prime, we were like, the dudes who give me toilet paper free shipping are giving me television with it. And now Lord of the Rings. So you never know.
That's true. I mean, look.
You never know.
I'm going to watch this. Am I going to watch it on Roku? Maybe.
Jesse PB in the live studio audience saying, Producer Dagger was searching for Roku original content.
Hard to find. But hey, you did mention Lord of the Rings, and obviously we don't have a lot of time left, so I do want to get to this. We do have a title for the Lord of the Rings Amazon series.
Now, before we tell D, maybe a lot of you have seen it. I don't know, but I just want to show you this video. It's short, but the title is it's up on the top. Damn it. Oh well. Here's the thing. It's almost as though they titled it. If you said Lord of the Rings, if they said to you Lord of the Rings and you went, which rings? They said
The rings with the power.
the rings of power.
What power? The power of voodoo.
Like-
Voodoo you do.
Like we needed that question answered.
Uh-huh.
It's called The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Which rings? Oh, those rings. Now I know.
I don't think that the word rings needed to be in it twice, in my opinion. To me, that's like titling it Star Wars, The War in the Stars.
Right. It's like, yo, we know it's about the rings.
Yeah, it's called Lord of the Rings.
Tell it. What do you mean it's about the rings? We get that.
Yeah.
The Lord of the
Right? The Lord of the Rings of Power. I mean, I guess it could have not been the Lord of the Rings of Power, but they have to for branding put the Lord of the Rings in. If it was just Rings of Power, I don't know if I would be that mad.
Rings of Power sounds like a Super Friends or like literally a Power Rangers or like a
Wonder
Disney
Twins activate.
a Disney XD.
Right.
You know, Rings of Power.
I would love to know from the BBs. Pitch us a better title.
Give us a title for the Lord of the Rings.
Give us a better title or another franchise like Star Wars: The War of the Stars.
The Lord of the Rings. Rings. What? The Lord of the Rings. Rings.
The Lord of the Rings. Ring, ring.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Who is it? Lord of the Rings.
Hello, Rings?
Yes, this is Rings.
Hello. Hi, I'm looking for rings.
Yes. What sort of rings? We
Oh.
have every kind of rings.
Oh, the Rings of Power.
We have 3 of those went to the dwarves.
Okay.
3 of them went to the elves.
Where are the lords?
The Lords of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, Ring Central. Lord of the Rings, Amazing Prime Rings. Ring Fest. Very good.
Lord of the Rings.
Which-
Why couldn't you just call it Lord of the Rings?
Mhm.
Right? Like, because all the movies have another title. It's
Actually,
it's the Hobbit. It's Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. It's Lord of the Rings, The Two Tower. It's just call the series The Lord of the Rings.
I don't want that.
You don't even care about the Lord of the Rings.
And I still don't want it.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels weird. Like, the Lord of the Rings is already a thing. I feel like it should have an original name.
Lord of the Rings. Prime. The Lord of the Rings.
Ring Prism Power. How do y'all feel about if it was just called The Lord of the Rings? I feel like if I'm referring to The Lord of the Rings,
Gigaloop says Silmarillion, but I don't think it's the Silmarillion. I think they're telling a different story.
Mhm.
If it was the Silmarillion, but you can't. Silmarillion's not a great title for anything. Silmarillion sounds like food poisoning if you don't know about the Lord of the Rings. You know?
sure. Now, when you suggest just calling it Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
another reason I disagree with that is because things like this exist, which is Scream, just
You mean-
called Scream.
You mean 5 Cream?
I do mean 5 Cream, unfortunately.
It
but
was
they don't
right
acknowledge it
there.
5 Cream. They don't acknowledge it as 5 Cream.
And let me tell you something. They are clearly touchy about it because I have watched some press interviews with the cast and crew of 5 Cream, and that question never comes up. And I know everybody was asking that question. Everybody's being told to cut the 5 Cream.
Yeah. How it gums to chew 5 Cream. Gum. So, speaking of which I have not seen, please no spoilers. I don't want to go to a theater, I'm afraid. I'm too afraid to go to the theater, but I really want to see it so bad. Scream is one of my favorite franchises of all time. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. And Scream absolutely fucking crushed the box office this week, ending Spider-Man No Way Home streak.
Now, we do want to say, and I'm not trying to add an asterisk here,
Mhm.
but I do think it's important to say, crushing the box office right now the way the world is, means $30.6 million opening weekend,
But
which is not bad for a horror movie. That's a pretty solid opening.
that's a movie that only cost $25 million to make.
That's what I'm saying.
So it has already made back what it cost to make in the first week.
It's a big opening for a horror film for sure, especially like a horror reboot like this.
A 5th entry in a franchise?
But I do want to say, it took a long time for somebody to make more money than No Way Home.
It did. So they had a 4-week domestic box office winning streak that was ended by Scream. They also said that internally Scream brought in another $18 million from 50 markets, according to THR. So, like, they made their money back.
Oh, they're doing great.
They're out here absolutely chilling.
It opened with $10 million more than Scream 4.
Yeah, Scream 4 only opened to $19 million, which a lot of people kind of forgot Scream 4 happened, including me.
Sometimes, what this shows is sometimes you need to let a franchise rest a little.
I mean,
let it take a nap. Just for a little bit, and then you can come back.
There was a pretty big nap in between 3 and 4. I think it was pretty comparable to the time between 4 and 5. Let me know when 3 came out, because I knew 4 came out in 2011.
If you look up Scream series, they bring up that TV show that I
Yeah,
forgot
so
about.
Scream 3 was the year 2000. So there was an 11-year gap between 3 and 4. But 4 just didn't hit the same for some reason. There wasn't as much promo around it. I think that maybe it's a timing thing.
I think horror was resting a little bit. And horror is back in a big way now.
Horror is back in a big way. And now, like, a lot of us have a certain level of nostalgia. Like, I'm 26. I think I'm technically on the young end of Scream nostalgia. But like the first Scream movie is the first scary movie I ever saw. And now at my age, I am like perfectly in the give me new Scream. In 2011, I was a teen. I was not quite.
I see Alex in the live studio audience saying, waiting for Final Destination to wake up. Final Destination is one of my favorites, too.
Really?
And they did announce last week that John Watts, director of The Spider-Mans, is producing a new Final Destination movie.
Final Destination is one of your favorites?
I fucking love the first Final Destination.
Fascinating.
The first Final Destination is so good.
I would never watch another Final Destination, I don't think. Like, look, I'll see it if friends are watching it, but, like, I would never go back and watch Final Destination.
Oh, they got up to 5, and I remember, like, I watched the second one, and I was like, yeah, this didn't need to be a franchise.
I remember being scarred by 3.
Is 3 the roller coaster?
3 is I believe, the roller coaster and the tanning bed.
Oh, the tanning bed was bad.
Gore doesn't do it for me anymore, and they're so heavily based on shock value and gore that's not my area of horror. I much prefer the, like, Midsommar side of horror, the satirical side of Scream, the emotional sides of psychological horror.
Yeah, they because there is no creature or bad guy or anything like that, it's like, well, death is coming. Okay, cool. So we need to make that as fucking nightmarish as possible.
Not from me.
Dude, that first one is so good.
I
Shout
think
out
they
to
were
Devin
very
Sawa.
good. They're just no longer my genre.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the Saw franchise. Like, I would never watch Saw again.
I was never into Saw. Saw was like too much body horror.
The first couple Saws, I was like a teenager and I saw it and it was like, oh shit, wow. And like now, fuck, absolutely not.
The first one was lucky because it had Carrie Elwes. They had good actors in the first Saw. You know what I mean? They put real actors in it.
Yeah, I agree. We don't need Final Destination during the pandemic. We're living it, as Kodoroku said, the Panababa.
Well, but like if nobody dies from a sickness in Final Destination, which nobody does, people die from like a ceiling fan hitting an ice tray, which like wakes up a guard dog. It's like it's all Rube Goldberg shit.
Not for me anymore.
It's fun to guess. It's a fun game when you've never seen a Final Destination, when they start a new scene to be like, okay, what in this room's going to do it?
I'm a big fan when it comes to horror of suspense as opposed to the death.
Yeah.
People dying in horror, not my favorite part. Suspense, fear, like, chase, all of that. Yeah, that's fun for me.
Yeah.
I think that Final Destination relies heavily on sweet fucking deaths.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I didn't need it to be a franchise. But that first one was just so clever because nobody had done something like that before.
Yeah.
The idea of like, well, I cheated death, and it's like, no, you just go to the bottom of the list,
Right.
and it's gonna get you. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
It felt very like, you know what it felt like? It felt like a very, you know how much I'm into the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone.
Right, and I love the Twilight Zone as well.
It felt like a very expensive, well-made, interesting single episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. BBs, we gotta go.
We gotta go?
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Oh, you're right. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Because we've got, listen, in a half an hour, Saige and I are going to be showing up. Well, we're going to be shooting it. If you're a patron for Kinda Funny, we're doing the Boba Fett watch-along series, Boba Fett in Review. It will be out this afternoon to everybody on Kinda Funny's YouTube. But we got to run and talk about that Boba Fett.
We gotta run and go talk about Boba Fett because I have thoughts.
I got a lot of thoughts on this one.
All right, so we love you so much. Thank you for supporting us during the show today. Let's do a roll call of the people who subscribed, the people who donated, real quick. We are trying to pare down how long that roll call is. We thank you so much to everybody who followed the channel today. But as the channel grows, it's not always sustainable to say everybody who followed. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes. So we want to give a shout out to everybody who subscribed, donated, that sort of thing during the stream. Hardliner with the resub for 5 months, saying thank you for your hard work, Dagger. You know what? It's about time somebody thanked him. CyberGamer2 with the resub, with that Prime sub. Thank you for stealing money from the BZ for 4 months. Coralinks Cosplay with the resub for 3 months, saying good morning, BBs. Good morning, Coralinks Cosplay. Kaylin Roar with so many gifts. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of gift subs. Thank you very much. Danny Boy's calling pipes with the gift sub. Thank you. Andy Harrow, 35, with the bits saying, fuck people?
I believe this was at the time of Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
Or Ninja.
I don't know.
Could have been either.
No, I agree with the vibe. I just didn't understand what it was in.
It was either Bobby Kotick or Ninja. Either's fair.
Yeah. Mount Joy Hoops, thank you very much for the bits. Andy Harrow with the resub for 2 months. Cold Shoulder with the gift subs. Very, very generous of you. Andy Harrow with the donation to Tiltify. Thank you very much. Kaylin Roar with the gift sub. Chris Plowman with a gift sub. Chris Plowman with a resub for 9 months. That's a good chunk of time. Kaylin Roar with bits saying, get y'all some glucose, lovelies. Oh, we're going to sugar breakfast. Davey Dave Boy with the resub for 10 months saying, it's never too early. Hell yeah. Chafrikas with the resub for 2 months saying, fired up today, it's too early. Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, yeah, we are. 54 Aquasnates with some bits and the resub for 12 months in a row. That is a huge chunk of time. Thank you so much. That is almost, you're a month away from a Pixel Circus year.
Hey, that's very cool of you. Thank you so much to everybody who supported us. And hey, there's a bunch of other ways to support us too. It doesn't always have to be financial. You can do things like join the Discord. It's freaking free, babies.
Hey, it's freaking free.
You can follow us on all the social medias, both individually and on the Pixel Circus channels, where we post a bunch of clips from the shows. It's a lot of fun. And you could just come back and watch the show. You can come back and watch the show. You can come back and watch other shows.
Yeah, they're doing a lot. We're doing a lot of cool things over here.
We have an announcement regarding Failed Save coming out this week, so do keep an eye on that. Failed Save is our comedy D&D 5e show that we do together with a bunch of our best friends, and we're very, very excited for it to return because we all miss it. Anthony, where else can they find you on the internet to support you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. If you are a patron of We Have Concerns, which is my science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata, you've got an early episode coming your way today. If not, there's a new episode of that coming your way on a Friday. And of course, Boba Fett.
Of course. And you can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream over on my channel. Tonight I have a cool sponsored stream, so maybe come by and say hello. We're playing AI Dungeon, the fact that a game I already play, one of the sponsors is really tight.
Hell yeah.
So I hope that you will come by. That'll be live at 6 p.m. Pacific. Other than that, you can find me on Smosh Games all the damn time, the Black Dice Society, and over with Anthony on this Boba Fett review show. So we'll see you soon, BBs. We love you.
We love you, BBs.
Take care of yourselves. Thanks for raising a ton of money for charity on Monday, by the way. We raised $2,700 for the ASPCA.
Fuck yeah.
That was so cool. Okay, goodbye.
Bye, BBs.
See you.